What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the debut album from the band Stages of Decomposition, entitled Piles of Rotting Flesh. This is released on Gore House Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Los Angeles, California, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very heavy, horror film-inspired style of brutal death metal. Now, of course, this is a band that I've talked about many an opportunity on this channel before. I saw them live in 2013 at the last Building Temples from Death Fest in Houston. I've been hearing a lot of great word of mouth about this band, and particularly the hype leading up to this debut full-length. Now the debut full-length has arrived. As soon as I saw the Tony Cosgrove cover art, I was instantly interested, and as soon as more songs were available to listen to, I was very excited about what potential was going to be had with this particular album. So now here we are with the debut from Stages of Decomposition entitled Piles of Rotting Flesh. It's 9 tracks, and it clocks in at around 33 minutes in length. And pretty much this is an album that flies by very effortlessly and is done in such a very, very brutal manner. If you're into old school brutal death metal styles, this is definitely a band for you to be checking out and supporting. There is a lot of potential to be had here. The main selling points to me of this album are definitely the guitar work and the bass guitar work. The riffs on here are just very, very heavy. They can be almost skull-crushing at times. I mean, you can hear some very, very well-evidented riffs on tracks like Genital Apitosaire, Chainsaw Disembowel Cadaver, Acid Bath Orgy. Just the riffs on those songs just sound so crushing. And just the way every riff is being handled, it's done very patiently and very, very with care. I mean, there's no... This doesn't even seem to be like any sort of wankfest when it comes to the guitar. I think the riff work just sounds very, very smooth and very heavy. A tiny bit technical in pieces, but yet just the way the guitar sounds on here just feels very, very smooth and awesome. And speaking of smooth, let's talk about the bass on this album. Good God, I love this bass guitar on this album. If you want to talk about death metal with audible bass, this is a record you can definitely come to think about. I mean, just the way that it's mixed on this album, it just sounds so good, and it's absolutely perfect for this album's style and pace. I mean, going back to the track Acid Bath Orgy, I want to say towards the last minute of that track, you hear a little bit of a bass solo going on, and I think that's just so impressive. I love the way the bass guitar is on that track, and every other song that appears on here, it is an absolutely paramount addition to every song that's on here. The bass tone, the bass lick, just the way every string is strummed, it just feels so good, and it sounds good too. It's probably one of the best bass performances I've heard on any metal release all year. I just think it's that smooth and hard working. I really, really love the way this bass guitar is. Moving on to the drums, really loving the way the drums sound on here. Very naturally executed. Lots of emphasis on blast beats, double bass, quick fills, quick rolls, a little bit of a combination of all of the above. This drummer handles himself very, very naturally and just gets the job done here so good with the way the drums sound on this album. It has a good pace, nothing feels too fast or too forced, and just the way he delivers and handles the drums on this album, preferably the first half of this album, I want to say is where I get a lot of this drummer's speed and momentum. I think it's really, really incredible, the kind of speeds and paces this drummer has. I think it's really, really incredible. Very natural sounding drums too. I really love the snare tone, the way the snare and kick are in certain instances. I think it's really, really cool. And moving on to the vocals, There is a lot of vocal variation going on with the way this vocalist is doing his words and saying his lyrics. Of course, the lyrics are your standard brutal death metal fare, pretty gory, garish, and over the top. But yet this guy makes it very entertaining and worthwhile to listen to. His vocal style is very varied. A lot of low guttural growls, mid-range growls, almost evil, high-pitched kind of growls. It sounds really, really good. There's a lot of variation going on with the vocals. Every certain instance of interplay with the vocal styles, I think it's really, really cool. And I definitely think this guy composes himself very well here when it comes to delivering the vocals and lyrics. So overall, if you're a fan of brutal death metal, if you're a fan of old school death metal, if you happen to be into stuff like maybe Mortician, if you happen to be into Cannibal Corpse, going back to the Mortician comparisons, there's a lot of emphasis when it comes to movie samples, like before certain tracks, like, I want to say Devoured and Defecated by Swine. That's probably one good example of the way the audio samples work here, and I think it's really, really cool. So this is definitely an impressive debut, and I am looking forward to this band having a very bright and successful future ahead of them. I hope they continue to tour, make music, and definitely be a very, very vital part to the death metal scene. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I definitely would have to say Genital Epitasaire, Chainsaw Disemboweled Cadaver, Acid Bath Orgy, that sick-ass bass solo, the title track, and Devoured and Defecated by Swine. So I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the Gore House Productions Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally, buy it physically, buy the jewel case version, or the version that I have, which is the limited digipack version. Of course, you get the book, the little sleeve here with the lyrics and all that, and just the way the digipack looks, it's really cool. There's also t-shirts, hoodies, and cassette tapes on the Gore House web store. I'll link you to that as well. So definitely worthy of picking up. Again, the album is Piles of Rotting Flesh by Stages of Decomposition. This is released on Gore House Productions. Definitely an impressive debut, and I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Really, really incredible debut album. Definitely supports Stages of Decomposition. Now let's get on to the fun part of this review. I am going to be announcing the two winners of my Stages of Decomposition giveaway contest, and as you see right here, these are the two copies in question. I'm going to be giving away two of these to two subscribers who participated in my contest. Now let me give you a little bit of a disclaimer before I announce the winners. There was a certain issue when it came to the pressing plant, when it came to the CDs. Apparently, whoever manufactured the discs got the last two tracks switched around. The last two tracks on this album are The Burning and Schizophrenic Nympho. It's switched around. The track listing that is on the Bandcamp page is the actual order. I believe certain CDs were sent out, including these, my copy and the copies that I'm going to be giving away, and certain copies are going to be reworked and have the correct track listings proper. But in the case of this contest, I'd say that you guys are going to be in the midst of owning some really cool rarities. So these are some rarities here. So with that being said, the winners of my contest are Corises, Corryses. I hope I pronounced your username right. Sorry if I didn't. And J.I. Vargas. Congratulations to the two of you guys. I will be getting in contact with you guys as soon as possible. So congrats on winning the debut from Stages of Decomposition, Piles of Rotting Flesh. So that's it. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.